Now let's look at the post rut. And what's going on at this time? When does it start? Now, guys, really the post rut starts normally in the Midwest after all the breeding is done. But here in Michigan, it starts basically November 15th. When all the deer hunters hit the woods, it changes everything for the rest of the year. So now let's look at the post rut and the farm locations and buck movement. Now, on November 15th, the buck is not in his hardcore safe area. He's out with the girls, okay, breeding her someplace. So on the 15th, you could kill that buck on A, B, C, or D because he's trying to get back to the big swamp. So you have a chance. But on the 16th, that night, he will be to his safe area. After it settles down, he will get back in the swamp. Now, the post rut really starts. The best way to explain it, second day of gun season. Now, Farm D would have no chance at killing that buck at this time. Farm C would not be. Farm B would not be. Here is the buck. Now he's bedded in his hardcore bedding area back here in the swamp. He's up on some little island or some thicket or where a bunch of storms went through and blew a bunch of trees down. He's inside there. Now, he's going to be in a very short pattern. He's just going to come out enough to get a little food, eat a little bit, and go right back into cover. Now his world shrinks. The smallest it is out of his whole life during the post rut is his smallest travel route. So now he is in a very tight area. So now you need to have a Farm A to be hunting after a couple days of season. That's why you really need to control buck beds and all this, because when you control that, my hunting property is good from October 1st to January 1st. Most properties, I've walked over 1,300. Very rarely do I find a property without work that's going to match that scenario. What most of them do is need to do some key ingredients on that property, make buck beds, doe beds, fawning areas, or add other food plots, and etc. to make them have a Farm A. The good news is you can make any property a Farm A with work, okay? But naturally set up, most properties fall in that C range. Okay, now let's look at the post rut. Now, everything's different. Now, the beginning point is basically second day of gun season, like I said. Now, hunting strategy, you need to be hunting close to thick cover. You got to remember, this buck is no longer going to be caught out in an open field. He is not going to get caught in a park effect woods. He is hunting and hiding. You need to be hunting him where he hides. His hiding areas are always going to be thick cover. Now, he is physically ran down. You got to understand, during the rut, he bred these does. From the scrape period, he started losing weight. Deer lose a ton of weight, the bucks. And now he needs to recover. If he doesn't know he's being hunted and you're doing everything, you're enter and exit, you can still kill these bucks in late season because they think no one's hunting them. But if you've been given any kind of clues to him, he's going to just turn nocturnal on you. So you got to understand when to hunt, how to enter and exit, and you also got to understand when to take does, and all this all makes a difference whether you're going to see that buck in the late season. Pattern. He's more predictable. Now I know where he's going to be. He's going to be in any thick cover, and he's going to go to the closest food source. He don't care where the best food source is. He's going to go to the closest one because he's always worried about survival. Signs are not important. Look at the rubs at this time. From November 21st to the 30th, only 3% of the rubs are made. So again, guys, once the rut's over and he knows he's being hunted, his activity level drops way down. This is why most guys, after the second, third day of gun season, they know their chances is basically over because they are hunting a Farm D, C, or maybe a B. They don't maybe not understand all these things, but they know every year they don't see nothing. And that is why they do not control buck beds. He's now in his hardcore bedding area. So guys, if you don't really have a place and you ain't seeing bucks in the late season, it's because you're not controlling. And bucks will travel miles to go to a great property. They could care less about food, how far they travel for food, water, or girls. They are survivors. They're a unique animal. He becomes basically nocturnal because he knows everyone's hunting him. Bucks need to feed, and he's physically ran down. He has to regain strength. Signs are not important at this time. Hope for cold weather. Guys, these big bucks, after 3 extreme days of cold weather, he has to move. So if it's high winds, rain, cold, whatever it is, on the 3rd morning, be in your stand closest to the thick cover between it and the bedding area of the big buck and a food source, and you're going to catch him lingering around a little bit because he has to regain strength. And basically understand where you're shooting does and everything. So to wrap this all up during the post rut, the key is to understand what a big buck wants at that time of year. Make sure you have the thick cover on your property. You are hunting it wisely, getting in and out, and not giving any clues, because at this time the buck will not take one mistake from you.